Welcome back to FFB amigos, and first of all, have a happy Merry Christmas. I hope all of you are enjoying with your families and your friends. And today we are going to discuss Chelsea versus Fulham at the Bridge, where whether rain or fine, we can shine all the time. And we will take the 3 points from Fulham, which, my friends, I was playing this up. What an interesting season it's been all round. It's not a 100-point season anymore, not even a 90s-point season anymore, which people are talking about a Chelsea title race because of that. And also, we've got Fulham in the 9th position, which is kind of interesting and shocking in itself. But they are above our neighbors at Fulham on the table as their 9th, and Tottenham sit 11th currently, and Man United, who sit 13th, in their historically lowest, I believe, table position in Christmas ever. Isn't that fabulous? And in any case, let's go over some key events here. Chelsea, number one, recent form, as you know. Sadly, for those of you that are title race people, which again I am not, and I declared I wouldn't be or even consider until after the Man City game at the beginning of the year, an end has been, they put an end to our winning streak. We're still now on an unbeaten streak. We're still a lovely and fabulous thing. And actually, that means we can push backwards a little further because the Leicester result, and we can count in that we're on an unbeaten streak, which is still pretty cool and exciting. And it's so beautiful how long we've come this season from last. Although I will make a video about that because everybody's like, Pochettino sucked and Maresca's a genius. Yeah, maybe. I don't think so. Because what we saw towards the end of the season was pretty wonderful. And it is not the same team because having these young players with one season on their back is very different than not. So they are different players. And we were doing really well at the end of the season. Not to take away from Maresca either or to glorify Pochettino. Just saying, bro. In any case, this recent draw that Everton killed our winning streak still puts us on an unbeaten streak. And Fulham seems to be in a little bit of a dip. They've only won one in the last 6. And they had a 0-0 draw against Southampton, which is at the bottom of the table. So that was kind of some weakness there. Then for us, players that won't be available, Ben Chilwell, I'd love to hear more about that, guys. Do you know anything you can share? Some of the gossip, some of the cheese, mi amigo? Because, dude, he can't be that bad. Things can't be that bad, right? I mean, he's a pretty freaking amazing player. At least amazing enough to where Vega, when he's sucking, and instead of Malagusto on the wrong side, etc., right? I mean, he can be on the bench. So something must have happened personal outside of the pitch, outside of the training ground. I think. I don't know. If you guys know something, tell me. Reese, which again, I want to hear in the comments, amigos. Is it over or not? I'd like to get a little feel for what everybody's feeling. I think it's over, and so I'm not even asking this part. I think his career is over in terms of being the same Reece James that he was once. That's over. And I saw an interview with Michael Owen. I don't know when the interview was. I just saw it recently, where he was saying that towards the tail end of his career, after this big injury that he had, he was never the same player. And people sort of said he sucked. He's not that kind of striker, blah, blah, blah. But if you compare what he did earlier in his career, and what he was saying is like, yeah, man, I mean, my body wouldn't respond to what I wanted to, or if I knew if it responded, there was a high risk of injury. So I changed the way I played. And he would just like come short instead of running in behind many of the times. To still put himself in a position to score goals, and he did. But that he was never, again, the same player. He couldn't play again. And I think that's where we are with James. But some of you believe actually that we are far gone and that like he's never going to properly come back for like at least 75% of a season and play, even if altered, even in that RCB, right center back or left center back position that Maresca likes to play him. That's not even a thing for him anymore. How do you guys feel about that? In any case, he's out and gone. And again, if there's a 10% chance he'll ever be able to play, even if as a lesser James, dude, keep him out for 2 or 3 months. Bring Chile in as a backup to the backup at least or something. I don't know. But don't hurry him back. And we can't count on him right now. That brings me to Romeo Lavia, which is a similar scenario. It would be very terrible and very sad if he becomes one of these very injured players that suffer with injuries throughout their career. He's pretty young to have had some injuries, and he's suffering with them now. So let's make sure that he heals. I don't think we need him in this run of games. We need to figure out with what we got, and I think we've got enough. And speaking of injured players that, oh man, I don't want to say it, but Fofana, right? I don't know how we bought that guy. If I'm not mistaken, he had like broken his leg. Like he didn't have like a little issue. He like straight up cracked his leg, and we bought him after that, which was very risky and at a high price. And I believe he's an amazing player, and he can be one of the best defenders in the world if he has a long run, if he stays healthy. And he has a speedy game, so prone to getting injuries when you play that kind of football. In any case, I don't think he's going to be around for a little bit, and that means that we'll talk about the lineup later. But Bobby Towson is going to be the main guy there, and unfortunately, Badiashile is out. That people are always trashing Badiashile and Dizazi, but I hope you guys shut the hell up because we may need one, if not both, of these guys throughout the season. But now having Badiashile out, that's kind of a problem. In any case, Fulham has some injury concerns as well. They've got Nelson, Reed, and Anderson out injured. That for sure will not make it. And some suspensions for Carney and Bassies. Now, what's interesting about them is Marco Silva. Marco Silva was a coach that at some point many of the big teams actually were interested in him because he has an offensive style of play and a very dynamic style of play, but he also could be pragmatic and adjust game to game, which is interesting for us, right? Because I don't think he can defend from Everton. Very few teams, I think it was Maresca that said it, but he was like, yeah, very few teams in Europe have the record that they've had in the last 2 months in terms of clean sheets. So that's a tough team to score on. And as a Chelsea fan, if you guys are Chelsea fans, you better respect that. You know what that's like. And I was saying this about the Everton game, is that you can feel like you're going to win. And I thought Everton could have won that game very easily. Because we, in the past, when we were that defensive Mourinho team, the feeling of being under pressure and defending, and maybe not even with possession, knowing we've got this game. They're not going to score, and we just need one counter will kill them. I'm tying that to this saying because Marco Silva can come up with different things, and he'll do something similar, I think, which is like press hard or aggressively, not as a low block, but as a mid block, as long as you can have the space to come back. And what I would do to kill Chelsea is to counter wide. So depending on who we end up playing, right? Everton saw that by exploiting Malagusto being a right-footed on the left of the three and trying to come back from the wrong side of field that he's used to, and they kind of went past him. So it's either one of the two sides for Chelsea where there's going to be a weakness, I believe, on a counter. Because even if you play, which I don't think it's a good idea, and you guys know I hate it, but Caicedo in that position with speed, he can be passed, and on the counter certainly. He's a high presser and break up play in the middle, and that's where you want him. Get that idea, everybody, in your head. We want him because you've seen what he does. He tackles on the other opposition field in 2 seconds. We're attacking. That's what we need. In any case, we know Enzo's style. What we're going to do, we're going to do the 4-2-3-1, which actually a 3, and then the square in the middle. And the question is who's going to play there, but we'll get into that. So for this kind of game, we're always talking about players like Sancho that in small spaces can break them. So I expect to see him. Cole Palmer, which didn't have a great game last game, as you guys noticed. He got sort of shut down and he struggled, which again, why I always say Moy, El Niño Moy, is actually the best player, the best DM in the world today, as of now. And certainly the one in the Premier League. And I think he's the best Chelsea player as well. Because, yes, Palmer's got the magic. But Caicedo's got the balls, the leadership. I don't know. I know everybody a lot of British, London people. I love you guys. I love the country. I love England. I love my Chelsea fans. But you guys are always very, London-based. And if not, the Europeans are very European-based. And don't realize that this kid was leading teams in Copa Libertadores as a team. And that he played in the biggest stadiums and South America already as a youngin, and that he has the leadership qualities. And you can be a leader by showing what you show in the field. His compatriot did it in Manchester United, Antonee Valencia, was showing a hard ethic, hard work, and discipline. And this guy's done it. I think he's the player with the most minutes, certainly in Chelsea, and one of the most in the Premier League that has played the most game. Always available, always strong. Any case. So the question is, what are we going to do as always? Cucurella is back. No cuckoo, no party. No cuckoo, no cumbia, apparently. So I'm glad that we're going to have him back. Also, I think we're going to go toss-in, and which allows us to play Gusto on the right where he belongs, and Levi Colwell. Then the double pivot obviously is going to be Enzo and Fernandez, with Palmer as the 10. And then the wings are always the question. Jackson's going to be the number 9, even though some of you want to see Marguerite already excited. I don't think we'll see him because we're not good with a double 9 or someone right in behind the 9 sort of formation, like a 4-4-2 or a 4 diamond and 2 number 9s or 2 strikers. When we load up the field, we do that line of 5, which, by the way, is not a Maresca thing. That actually staggered. That's what it looks like a staggered 5. That was coming from Pep a while back, which in turn came from Cruyff. So, but it's interesting and lovely to see that we have like that staggered line, and that's kind of what we do. But that's like one person leading the line centrally. So I don't know how would that work with Q. I think it's lovely because we can see him drop to the left, Jackson, which is an amazing job if we do that. But dropping to the left or playing from the left, having Sancho and even Felix, or is not necessary. We have one last left guy. We're not going to talk about it now. He's gone. But even with that absence, we're stacked. So I don't think that's going to happen. Chelsea is still second in the Premier League. We're a couple of points clear of them Gooners, which is so exciting and so amazing. And we're still we're short from Liverpool, which they have a game in hand. So those of you that are thinking about the challenge, just title challenge, just a reminder of that. And at this point, it's kind of sad to see what Liverpool did to Tottenham. Ange Postecoglou. That's why I hope our coach never suffers of that. He doesn't seem like he will. He seems pragmatic and he'll adjust. But what will happen once they start figuring him out, like Everton did it, and then see if he'll do not just positional or internal tactical games, but if you can change formation, like a proper formation, and adapt to different games. And we haven't had anybody kick our butts and have us back in our, hardcore defending either. So it'd be interesting to see that, how we grow into that. I know we can, and I'm excited. In any case, the most important thing to all of you, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Please comment, like, and subscribe. The main thing that I want to know is, what do you think is going to happen with Reece James? Who we should play on the wings for this game and why? And are you still in the title race conversation, or do you think that little tie against Everton showed you that we weren't going to go on a 20 or a 10 run, a 10-win run, and that maybe we're just an unbeaten run? And remember, we're playing against Liverpool for the title, and that's a monster of a team. So let me know what you guys think. Please comment and subscribe. Again, Merry Christmas. And to the team, to you guys, if you ever watch, if you're out there, as always, we love you, we support you. And me, to my subscribers, every day I'm working hard to make a little bit better of a video for you and learning and getting stronger so you and make a more enjoyable experience about your love of football, the Premier League, and Chelsea. And as always, to the boys in the team, come on, you Blues.